because
It's just, Danny, it seems, yeah, so kind and so authentic and so appealing. And that's what I need to learn to do.
well, this
And
is
I understand it.
comes from within. It's the truth, and it's who you are too. And all we're going to do is we're going to take the layers off, and we're going to peel you away, and we're going to get right down to that little girl when she's 0 to 5, and we're going to bring her back up. And because that's who you authentically are, is that person from there. The world puts on challenges to you, and it puts on conditions to you, and the world will put scars on you, and it will hold you back from being the best that you can be. But we're telling you that we're going to take your inner person, who you really are, we're going to bring that back out and let it be the light. And then things just flow from that. Now, that's our findings in our business that we've been doing for the last 11 years. We've tried every way in the world to help people, and some people will let you help them, and some people will not. And so I can share with you, get yourself out of the way, and don't worry about who's going to let you, who's not going to let you. Just worry about talking to as many people, and they'll grab you by the shirt tail or coat tail, and you'll have to drag them along as you tell them what they need to do to get better. And that's the ones you're looking for, because you're on a journey, you're on a mission. And if you're on a journey and a mission, you're going forward, and you ain't got much time to sit back here and wait. You got to be bringing people with you as you go. It's interesting to me and Lisa. Yesterday, me and Lisa met with a guy, just a short story, that I haven't seen him in about 5 years, but I talked to him 11 years ago when Lisa and I first got involved with Take Shape for Life. And he had no interest in what we were doing 11 years ago. That's the thing you're doing, Danielle. You're my buddy, my pal. He said, but I'm going to go here and eat what I want to eat, drink what I want to drink, blah, 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 blah. Life changes things, Joe. So I don't know. I had him on my heart. He had called me a few months ago about something. I put him in my mind. I wrote him down on my sheet of people to talk to. And just so out of the blues, I contacted him and started asking these questions just like I'm fixed to ask you. And it's amazing. Yesterday we met with them, him and his wife, and they were ready. And so they start on Tuesday. And what's amazing is they've been on the program 3 years ago. Somebody else, a doctor, got them on our program. And they've lost some weight, but they didn't fix this up here. And so what we get to do is even the doctors can't do what we do. Now, I want you to understand that. We have doctors in our company, but they don't all understand it. Because see, they're out there trying to fix things, right? That's what doctors do. They fix things. That's not who.
I think the medical profession wants to fix the physical, and they don't spend enough time helping us correct the mental fixes that are so necessary. Yeah, I absolutely agree. That's true. I've never thought of it quite that way.
Yeah, so that's who we are. That's what we get to do, because the doctor is fixing your problems in one way. And he's trying to work on your mental, but they got another professional for that and another professional for that. I can only share with you, we are tour guides. We are tour guides for our clients. We grab our clients by the hand. Somebody says, help me, and we grab them by the hands, and we take them through our process. We take them through the community. We introduce them into the community of everybody that's in that community that they need to talk to right now. We don't want to overwhelm them, but we want to introduce them one at a time so that they can make good decisions on what's going to go on the rest of their life. We put a lot of people in the system and help them get started. Some people go by the wayside. Some people take off and run off without you. You don't even see them anymore until they're at the end of the goal. And they're saying, hey, we made it to the end. And then some people you're sitting there with, you're working with them the whole time. And so you got to understand, people are in three categories. The ones that will not do it no matter what you do for them. The ones going to do it where you want to do it or not. And then you're going to have the ones that's going to be there with you that you get to train with and train them. And that's the part that makes all this work. So my story, let me tell you my story. Your story is so important, but you got to narrow it down so you don't lose anybody. It's kind of like going to church, when you get up there, if that preacher preaches over 15 minutes, he's lost everybody in it because everybody's thinking about what they're going to eat for dinner. You got 15 minutes to get the message in, so somebody may want to give it up, but after that, he just up there talking. Listening to himself, 15 minutes, everybody doing something else. So if you ask me, let's say we're sitting on the street, we're sitting on a park bench, and we're talking, and we brought this conversation up. We talked about you, we talked about me, and I said, listen, Joe, I don't know if you know this or not, but 11 years ago, I was sick. I had high blood pressure, borderline diabetic. I was a heart attack waiting to happen, and I didn't even know it. I knew something was wrong, but when the doctor told me that I was going to be on all this medication or I was going to have a heart attack, I was scared and I was afraid. And so he gave me this prescription. I took it to the doctor. I took it to the pharmacy and give it to him and come back over. It was almost $400. The prescriptions he wrote for all this. We buy our own insurance. We buy our own prescriptions. That's why we do help take Shaker Life, because we don't want all that expense, right? But anyways, so it's almost $400. And I looked at the lady and I said, is that for a year? And she said, no, that's a month. And I said, I'll tell you what, put all that back on the shelf. She said, sir, this is your prescription. I said, I know, but put it all back on the shelf. And so as I walked out of that drugstore and I come home, I was in trouble. I knew I was. I was going to have to take that the rest of my life and or do something different. And so I come home and I sit out here and got on stuff, and I just looked up to the universe and I said, it's bigger than me. I need some help. Guide me, send somebody my way. And I got compassion about it. I amened it, and I walked on, but I knew I was in trouble. Joe, 3 days later, my phone rings. It's an old friend of mine I hadn't talked to 7-8 years. His name's Dan Bell. And he says, hey, Danny boy. I said, hey, Dan, how are you? We talked a little bit, how's your family, blah, 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 how's your dogs, all this stuff. We're just buddies, right? And then he says, a more important question. He said, Danny, he said, the reason I'm calling, he said, I need to ask you, how's your health? And I just sit back and I realized that what I had been looking for in the universe had just called me.
God had just brought it to you. Yeah, there's your answer.
And I said, Dan, you ain't gonna believe this. I said, 3 days ago I prayed about this and you called. He said, well, I don't know why I called you. He said, but I felt you in my heart and I thought I should call you. I've got a program and I'd like to get on it. Danny, he said, if you'll let me coach you and do what I say. He said, 30 days, if you don't like it, he said, you can go do what else you want to do, and I'll give you all your money back. But if you like it, stay on it and watch what will happen to you for the rest of your life. Well, Joe, in 30 days, I lost 28 pounds. And I was losing like a pound a day. It was just like I was melting. Hey, in 15 days, I was in front of the mirror. I thought I was an incredible Hulk, I get that flex thing going on. I sit there flexing. Lisa walks in on me. I said, I'm looking good out here, baby. She said, yeah. And so she goes on because she didn't want to struggle with me. She said, I ain't doing that. I know what to do anyway. So this is my story. So I get on the program. I lost 28 pounds. Lisa, 2 weeks later, she gets on the program. She's got her story. But in 90 days, I'd lost almost 60 pounds and 4 inches of my waist. My blood pressure was good. My cholesterol was good. I was no longer a borderline diabetic. All the things I was going to have to take this cover-up medicine for, Joe. All this stuff, I'm not going to have to take it now. People started coming up to me, and I'm a busy person. We got our businesses we run. We got things we got to do. People's coming to me and say, hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? And I said, well, I got this coach. And he's helping me to, get my health back. And I said, I'm really excited about it. Well, what's his name? So I give him Dan Bell's name. I said, here, call him. Give his phone number. Call him. Or I call Dan. Call so-and-so. And I was just sending him clients one right after the other. And Lisa was too. People were following us home. I mean, we go to a party one night. And there was 3 cars pulled up down the driveway at 10:30 at night. People say, what are y'all doing? We want to do it too. Now, that's our life. That's what was happening. I looked at Lisa that night. The ladies come in. We called Dan and we talked. We got them all set up where they could get on the program and start getting healthy. And I looked at Lisa. I said, we've got to do this. Look at all these people we're helping. And we don't even know what we're doing. We're helping them. But we was using Dan, our coach, to keep us, and he was training us at the same time. So our story goes on. We went to executive director first month. That's just bam. And we've been there ever since. I mean, it's just like, we know what to do. We got it done because we're business owners, and that's how it works. 11 years later, we're doing the same thing. But we've met some very interesting people along the way, and we've helped a lot of people along the way. So that's my story. All thing I can tell you is, do you know anybody that's praying for somebody like us to come in their life to help them?
Yeah, I think I probably do.
Let's go help them. Because that's the beauty of what we do. Joe, if you want charity, that's the best charity you'll ever give anybody. Give somebody hope again. How many pounds have you lost?
36.
36. Now look at you 36 pounds ago, and a month before that. What was your life like?
Yeah, I still don't believe it some days. It's strange because, I get up and yesterday when I get ready for this wedding reception, I take my dress clothes out of the closet and I don't wear them, that often. And I think, I start to put them on. I think, what if these don't fit? What if these don't fit?
Right.
And I put them on and I button them and they fit great. And I just think, because I got rid of all my big clothes. I really did. I didn't keep them around. I know enough people that are on this program now that we just bag stuff up and pass it on to the next person that's just starting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Debbie and I have our own little pay it forward plan with clothes going on at work, which is great. But yeah, I still, and like I said, maybe it's just taking me a while for my mind to catch up with my body.
Yeah.
I don't know. I still have this little voice inside me telling me, it may not work for you, which I want to squash, because it is working and I am doing it and I am helping other people and it's working for them as well. So I don't know where that's coming from, but I think it's all part of that healing process. And
it comes from the Garden of Eden, right? All those things that are negative thought comes from the Garden of Eden. And the reason I say that, that's where the thought of doubt come in. So it has nothing to do with that inner spirit. That's what we're looking for, because that's the truth about you. It's written all over. We can see the truth in you because that's what we look for. But all those thoughts that you have, if they're bad, that's not who you are. That's just the world. That's its old flesh. That's its old body saying, oh, you're not good enough. Oh, you can't do this, or you won't do this right, or you won't do that right. So that's what the flesh does. But the spirit says, I got this. And that's what you have to find, is that confidence that says, I got this. Let's say your friend comes to you. She says, Joe, I need your help. I got this. She said, well, how's the food tasting? Don't worry about it. I got it. How much it costs? Don't worry about it. I got this for you. You want some help? I got it for you. Well, I don't want to do it. It costs too much. Well, you ain't ready yet. I'm going to put you over here on my call you back list because you ain't ready yet. I ain't going to beg you, but when you're ready, you'll know. And you move on. You're going to find the people that you want to help the most will not let you. And don't get bogged down in their stuff, because you get yourself in the way. What you should do is work with the ones who want to work with you. Out of 10 people you talk to, you're just planting the seeds. One of them's going to grab you by the coattail and say, help me. I was praying about you to come into my life. Help me. Here's my credit card. And you take that, and you take that information, do the right thing by them, and you get them started, and you stay with them, and you work with them, and you help them. You teach them how to eat the food. You teach them how to start walking. You teach them how to start talking. You teach them all these things, because that's what coaches do. We just train people to be a different entity in their lives. That's the coaching process. So if you can get real good at anything, get real good at being you, but the inner you. Get real good at being the inner you. When you go and look in the mirror, don't look at the outside. Look in the inside. Look in your eyes and see where your spirit resonates. Have your spirit and your heart to join. Instead of your heart and mind joining, your spirit and heart and mind joins that way. And that's where you'll find your greatness. That's where it is.
Yeah, the authentic me. That's what I need to find. The authentic me. I'm just taking some notes as we talk here.
Joe, now you said your husband's on the program, your mother, and who else was on the program?
Hit my husband's sister and her husband.
Okay, so your sister-in-law and
My brother-in-law.
brother-in-law. Okay.
Yep.
And they're doing good too, right?
Yeah, actually, Marcy, my sister-in-law, is down 23 pounds in 5 weeks, and her husband is down 25.
Okay.
My mom is kind of struggling. She just sent me a note earlier, and that's something else I wanted your help with was, how do you respond when somebody comes to you and says, I've had a really bad day, I had biscuits and gravy at, country buffet with, friends from church or whatever. I feel awful and, I'm not eating anymore today. I've had my, my last fueling, I'm going to bed kind of thing.
Okay.
How do you respond to that?
Okay. Well, she's been doing the program, and so she decided today to have biscuits and gravy. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So basically what we do is we have to identify what was it that caused her to make that decision. Because it's not really about the biscuits and gravy. It's about what was going on. Was there something she got stressed about? Was there something about she was like the story she's telling herself in her own mind, like, I can't have the things that I enjoy to eat, so I'm having biscuits and gravy today. Because we have stories that we're playing in our head. And so,
Right.
So your job was to say, well, let's talk about that versus, well, you shouldn't, that's not on the program, because that sort of causes a person to shut down. So if we can just talk
Right.
about the biscuits and gravy, well, let's talk about that. So, why this morning did you choose to want to eat biscuits and gravy? Because you've been on the program, been doing good. So was there something happened that caused you a little stress or whatever? Let's talk about that and let her tell you what exactly went, because I guarantee you 100% of the time, it's something outside themselves that's going on that maybe caused a little bit of stress, a little bit of anxiety or something. And so they just needed something to distract them. And food's always a great distraction.
It could be peer pressure too, Peer pressure.
Well, and because she lives alone, I think that quite often she goes out and spends time with people because it's a social thing.
Yes.
Sure.
Especially after church, we're all going to go have breakfast together. And rather than her saying, I'll pass, or I'll come and have a cup of coffee with you, or, she just kind of goes along with the crowd and often ends up places that, eating something other than what she knows is best for her health.
Yeah. And she's probably, how old's your mother?
She'll be 70 in August.
Okay. What I've noticed with 70 years, those that's in their 70s and stuff, because our parents are that age, they get lonely. They get very lonely. And the loneliness, it's like you said, the majority of people their age, this is what they're doing. And so they just it's easier just to follow suit with them. And then it slowly just, deteriorates the body in a sense to where they have no quality of life because they're eating these kind of things. So the thing is, what we found out is those in their 70s need us as energy, need to be around more people that's going to lead them in a sense versus telling them what to do, but more or less like, helping them to learn how to explore. Because it doesn't matter what age you are. I think everybody really wants to be able to be in control of their own well-being. But it's just knowing how to. It's a skill set and it's an art to it. Because last week, Katie and I, she had a lady that was in her 70s that she'd already lost like 38 pounds. She still had 30 more to go, but she was at a roadblock. And she would start out in the morning doing good, but by the end of the day, she'd mess up. So she couldn't get that. So we talked, and I said, tell me about that. Tell me what's happened in your life to put you to where you can't even get through a whole day. And what it was, she said that here in about 30 days that she was not going to have her job that she's had no longer. It was going to go away. So she was a little depressed about that. And then she also shared with me, I can't remember, there was something else. So I said, so see, you identified what's going on, which caused you to not stay the course all day long. I said, you're depressed. She goes, yeah. And I said, and she was such an outgoing lady. I said, you need to be around like-minded people. And she goes, yeah, I would love that. I said, you would be perfect for our community. And so that's like your mom. There's like, and something that they talked about at Go Global was connecting. So it's like all of your clients that you have on the program, we need to schedule a Zoom and we need to connect. We need to find out, like they need to meet us.
I would love that. I think that would be great.
Yeah. And see, all that is it helps them to see that it's not just Joe doing this and Joe's having to hold all the weight of the world of trying to hope that they'll stay on plan and hope they'll reach their goal. It's more about being together, and they see that they feed off that, and it makes the journey a little bit easier.
Well, I'd like to take the opportunity in this next week or 10 days to try and schedule either a group, because like probably my husband and his sister and brother-in-law, probably the four of us could all Zoom at the same time with you.
Okay.
I'd love to have my mom, do a Zoom meeting with us. I think that would be great.
Yeah.
I think she would enjoy that, and I think this would seem more appealing to her if she had more of that kind of connection.
I think
because,
so.
like you said, that for somebody who's 70, I don't know how familiar she is with Zoom, but I'm sure that she's computer savvy enough. We could get her set up to do it. She probably is not familiar with it yet, but she could. I know she's got a Kindle Fire, and I know she's got a computer or laptop. Okay. So. That's a great idea. I would like that.
Yeah. And see what's going to happen, whenever you said, I'm just not feeling to where I'm very empathetic. What's going to happen, Joe, is it's not for you to know how to be like that out of the gate. But that spirit is who you are. But it's a skill set that you have to acquire. And what happens is whenever we Zoom and we connect, you're hearing us and you're hearing it more than one time, and then all of a sudden you start seeing yourself so empathetic with people, and then what happens is as you start having healthy clients and then getting them to do the work for you, so hey, I know you've got people that I can't even reach, and I know they're probably struggling with their health, and they probably would love to find a program like this and be a part of a community, so I need your help, and have them to either bring people to you, or we can share with them the opportunity as well, because all it does is set you up for a 5 times greater chance of keeping your weight off long term. And it's not really that hard to coach once you get the skills and the actions and the concepts. See, right now you're working on concepts. You're trying to get rid of what doesn't work, so that way you can pick out the things that do work, so that way that it will move you forward. And there's a question I wanted to ask you, because like I said, all the skill sets and stuff will come. But Joe, what would you really like to create with Take Shape for Life? What do you see for yourself?
I made a whole list.
Well, there you go.
As I was reading through this today, the What Do I Want page, I don't have my glasses on, but authentic confidence, financial income without endless hours of input and work. Travel with my.
Put a number on that for us. Put a number on that.
The income, you mean?
Yeah.
Or the hours?
Yeah, both. So we'll know what you're thinking. Now that you said something there, but I need to know how much money you're talking about, how many hours you want to work, so I can write this so I can watch what happens at the end of this conversation, if you don't mind.
No, that's fine. I'd like to make $100,000 a year doing this. I would love that. That would give me the opportunity to, and hours, I would be willing to spend, I look at the hours that I'm working now and I just think, and I do have a lot of flexibility, and I like what I do, but it's very demanding, and I think I want to get away from that. I don't want it to feel like an obligation.
Gotcha.
Okay. You want more like a career, more like a.
So I'm not opposed to doing, I'm not opposed to working 40 hours a week, or working, but I also want the opportunity to be able to go and spend time with my husband in vacation, or, to travel to see my grown children, and grandchildren.
And this brings the freedom of that up there. So, okay, you need 100,000, need work 40 hours, and you want to travel. Well, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm just trying to put some numbers on, so keep going, please.
No, that's okay. That's all right. I'd love to have a cabin on a river or lake.
Well,
I'd like time for spiritual practice, every day to set aside an hour where I can just read my Bible or my devotions or sit outside and listen to the birds, just
Sure.
Time to be able to be still and not hit the ground running, when the alarm clock goes off in the morning, and not stop until I drop at the end of the day. I mean, I like the feeling of accomplishment, when I have days like that, but when it's day after day after, it's just exhausting. It just wears me out.
Yeah.
We understand. We've been there firsthand.
But you have.
Yeah.
Time for daily exercise. Same thing. I'd like an hour or hour and a half a day where I can get up and get my exercise. I have more energy in the morning, first thing. So I'd love the opportunity to be able to get up and do those kinds of things in the morning before I have to shower and dress and rush out the door, for work. Peace of mind. I want to be able to share this with others. I loved being able to see other people find joy in their life and not feel like they've missed something, or like their life is passing them by and they regret not having done, something more with it.
Right.
More time to spend with my mom, my siblings, and my, kids and grandkids, I think. My husband, my close family. I have stepchildren, grandchildren in southern Michigan, in Maryland. My daughter's in California right now in the service. And I just lost a sister last fall. And, that reminds me, that's something else. After I spoke with my mom, she sent me a text and said something about getting together Memorial Weekend I bought a turtle urn that my sister's ashes are in at the funeral home in Traverse City. And the plan was to get together this spring when the weather's warm. She loved the beach. And this is a biodegradable urn that you set into the water, and it floats for a while, and then, sinks and everything just dissolves. And she said she was going to talk to my sister-in-law, or ex-sister-in-law now, and she has a beautiful pond at her place. They own a trout farm. And she said, I talked to Barb to see about putting the ashes there. And maybe that was part of it too. I mean, I don't know if that was brought on after the biscuits and gravy or before, kind of thing. You know what I mean? Because sometimes I think we kind of get into that downward spiral with poor eating, and then before you know it, I know I do. Mentally, I'm a yucky mess by the end of the day because I didn't eat well and haven't treated myself well, and so I don't know which was which. But I definitely want to talk to her, and I just, like I said, I wasn't sure how to address it, and like you said, peeling back those layers to find out what the real. And I also made a note when we first started talking about this, Lisa, a couple of months ago, that you can't leave people beyond the point where you're at. And I think, I know I still have a long ways to go. I still have a lot of growth and healing and peeling away those layers to get back to the authentic self that I want to be able to share with people. Mm-hmm. So I want to be able to work on that as a daily practice too. I mean, I'd like to have the time to daily be able to say, okay, what does the real me look like? What is that that childhood spirit, like, that you mentioned, because I'm not sure where that's gone or I'm sure it's just buried deep,
I had to go get a picture of me and my sister when I was a little boy to really understand that. Matter of fact, somebody sent it to me. They had a picture. It's about aunt's a funeral, and my cousin had found it in her house, a picture of my sister made. There's 13 months apart, and we was 4 and probably 5 years old. And it was just that innocence, and I could see it in my eyes and in her eyes, and that love and that kid-like spirit. And that's who I said, that's who I am. That's who I am. I am that little guy who I just love on you, and just that's who I really am. And so I'm sharing with you, that's who you are. You're that little girl that you was when you was real little, had no worries, and we used to forgiving, no judgment, just love. That's who you really are. That's who Lacey is. And so we hook up. That's the community of people. We find that in each other, and we work with that, because that's the best part of people. My mother had a daycare center, Joe, and she kept a daycare center for over 40 years. Okay?
Oh my goodness.
And kids every day. One day I walked in there, and there was about 11 kids in there, and they were screaming to the top of their lungs. And my mother was over on the stove, and she was cooking some stewed potatoes and getting ready for dinner, doing the thing she always does. She just walking right along. I mean, it was I thought the glass in the house was going to break. And I said, "Be quiet." And all the little kids just looked at me. And my mother slammed that wooden spoon down and that potato. She said, "Don't you come in my house raising your voice like that." I said, "Mommy, how do you stand this?" She said, "Son, I work with the best people in the world." You think about that. She worked with the best people in the world because they're just having a good time. They're fun. They're energy. They're loving. They'll get a fuss about who's got the right toy every once in a while, but they're not judging. They're forgiving right after that. And so, I like that. And that's who we all really are. Except the world gets in the way, and it tells you to condemn somebody. It tells you to judge somebody. It tells you got to be perfect. It tells you all these things, the conditions on you. If you don't do this, I ain't doing this for you. And all that stuff is just garbage. It's just garbage. And if Jesus would have been like that, we wouldn't have had a Savior.
Oh, you got that right.
So my wife, she uses like, somebody's got to be the Jesus here. I thought about that a lot, because especially when my temper or something flies out, I said, somebody's got to be the Jesus. I hope it's me. So we'll hit.
That's a good way to think of it. I like that. That'll be a good reminder for me.
And Joe, I actually text you. I've got this. Of course, I'm on. Have you got an Apple phone, or have you got?
No, it's Android.
Okay, Android. Well, you can get this like on the Pandora or. But anyway, I've got some albums downloaded, iTunes, whatever. But I actually screenshotted this and said this. This is like. Daily affirmations, and it's where you sit and you listen to this, and it really conditions your mind, taking you back to that little child, like he spoke about, like this Jesus.
Well, I would like that.
So I sent that to you because just in the past week, a friend of mine shared it with me, and I was like, wow. I mean, because if you're listening, if you're putting in good stuff, you're going to get good stuff to come out. It comes out, and it's all it is conditioning your mind, just like we were talking about these skill sets. That's all we're doing, is sharing with you things that, yes, you feel it, but you say, well, I'm still struggling with it. It's okay to still struggle with that, because it's going to take a little while being conditioned, and like Danny said, tearing the layers off and getting rid of things. But I was telling Danny today because, me and him do yoga every morning. And so today I had this like profound thought, and it's because I've been listening to this, I've been working on myself, and I never give up on working on myself, because I don't think you will ever arrive to where you like, oh, I've got it all together, because, you know, it just don't work that way. There'll always be something else to come in life to help you to focus and work on that as well. But it's like I told Danny today, this profound thought I had today, and it's so true. The reason we struggle, the reason we get angry, the reason we get nerved a little bit by things that's happening in our world is because deep down, we still think we have something to prove. So whenever you get to a place where you have nothing to prove, that's like the word, you know, the Bible. We don't have to prove anything out of there. It stands on its own. But we try to prove something. We try to prove something. But us as individuals, Jesus, he knew who he was. He didn't have to prove who he was. He was. So whenever we have to prove something, then that to me is a sure sign that you got some work deep down to do. You got to figure out why. Who cares? You know, so that to me, but that helped me, and that with your drive time, oh my goodness, it's perfect. It really will set you up for that. But by this list of things that you shared that you were just like Danny and I. You want to buy your time back. You want time. You got to have time so that way that you can spend time with your husband, spend time with your children, your grandchildren, your mother, to be able to do exercise, to be able to have your spiritual practice. You need time. It's not really the money, but the money's going to buy back the time, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, we got about 5 minutes left here. Let me show you what your future looks like financially, if you don't mind. We're talking about.
No, I would love that.
Okay, because you know you give some goals here, but you really need to put some numbers to them, or they're just thoughts. So we've got to get you a business plan together. Would you agree?
Yes.
Okay. So authentic confidence, one first thing Lisa got wrote down. You've got that on your paper too. All right. You said you would like to make $100,000 yearly working with this, so you do these other things. Is that what I heard you say?
Yes.
Okay. So have you got your paper with you?
I do.
Okay. Have you got a pen?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's write on your paper. Because you got to put some numbers. I got to have to put some numbers down real quick, okay?
Okay.
Give you some goals. So if you're going to make $100,000 a year, you need to write down $8,000 a month.
Okay.
Okay. In order to earn $8,000 a month with Take Shape for Life, there's 3 or 4 different ways you do it, but there are 2 main ways you do it. Is we acquire clients and we acquire coaches. Write that down.
Right.
There's 2 things you got to focus on. Acquiring a client and acquiring a coach.
Okay.
This is going to make sense now. I'm breaking it down to make it very, very simple for you so you don't get caught up in trying to figure all this out. Okay? And try to do it a different way. You can do it a different way, but it won't work. It takes a long time. We'll show you a short way to get there. 2 things you do to take Shape for Life, and they are what? Acquire
clients and acquire coaches.
All right.
A coach.
Any questions?
No.
Okay. So we got that understood then, right? All right. So
yes.
we'll earn $8,000 a month. Now, if you do it by option 1, acquiring clients is where we all start out at. That's the fastest growing way of getting paid. Okay, to start with, and then you can grow some coaches out of that. So if you're going to earn $8,000 a month, I mean, we're going to start at the bottom, but what that looks to, you write this down, is about 75 to 90 clients a month. So write that down.
Ooh. Okay.
Okay. So that's about what it takes to make $8,000 a month. That's not counting the bonuses. I'm just giving you figures of basic figures of what it takes to get there.
Okay.
Now, like I said, there's bonuses. We have over $16,000 a year comes in bonuses. And we'll show you all the ways to collect that money. It's up to you. We can't do it for you, but we'll show you how to get it. And we get it every month. because I'm kind of like that. I'm not greedy. I just, if it's there and I'm going to get it, I ain't going to miss it, right? So
Right.
we use that money to do different things at charities, and we use it for trips and stuff like that. So, but the other part we invest in. All right. So the other way of earning $8,000 a month is you can do about 40 clients. Okay, write this down. Path two. You can do about 40 clients, about half that, and you'll need 5 senior coaches. Write that down.
I like the numbers better.
Yeah. You'll need 5 senior coaches.
Okay.
Okay. And that will earn you right at $7,400. So if you add another coach in there, you're a little over $8,000. Okay. Not counting the bonuses. So that's a marketing plan for you to get started. Acquire some clients, acquire some coaches. Okay. Now, let me ask you right now, how many clients do you have? You're a coach, right?
Yes.
Are you a senior coach?
Yes.
Okay. What does it take to be a senior coach?
$1,200 in orders and 5 clients.
And 5 clients. Very good. Now everybody gets that. You've got it. So you're on the road. So
that's as far as I've gotten. No.
That's okay. Okay. So the next thing is, how are we going to acquire more clients? Because you see that I'm a senior coach. I need 40 clients. So I've got 5. I need 35 more, right?
Right.
Okay.
Which will give me a nice pool of potential coaches then as well. So
exactly.
It's kind of a dual, kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
If you're good enough, you have to bring them all in, but I ain't seen anybody do that yet. But you got to have acquiring clients and acquiring coaches. So for you, just go out and duplicate yourself 5 times. Okay? Duplicate yourself 5 times. You're going to look about 60 people to do that. But hey, that's what this thing's all about, helping people, right?
Yes.
So
yes.
You got to get out of your comfort zone. You got to have fun with it. You ain't out there trying to sell them nothing. You're out there collecting somebody who needs what you got. Baby, you got the goods. You got
so I'm looking for people who need what I have.
Yes. And you got the goods. And you're sitting there holding it. Some people going to come by and they're going to look in it, your hand. There's some people going to come by and they're going to, just brush you off. Some people are going to slap it out of your hand. But you got the goods. And so you always got to remember that I've got this. And you need this. If you don't want, that's okay. I'm going to give it some. Do you want some? Okay, here's a perfect example. You ever been to a coffee shop?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and you're sitting there and you're having your coffee and there's 3 or 4 of you there, and this little waitress comes along and says, would you like some more coffee? And you say, yes, I'll have some more coffee. She pours you a little bit. Is that enough? Would you like cream sugar? Sure. And then you look cream sugar. Sir, would you like some? Ma'am, would you like some? And she goes to the next table. Would you like some coffee? Coffee. She comes back around on the next round. She said, would y'all like some more coffee? Well, sure, we'll take some more. So you take 2 or 3 cups of coffee. And she comes back here in a little while and said, would y'all like some more coffee? And you said, no. And she says, well, I quit. Nobody wants more of my coffee. Understand, she didn't do that.
Good analogy.
She just said, okay. And she went to the next table. And the only thing you got to do, Joe, is go around and fill people's cups up.
I like that.
And Danny had that, the famous line from Dan Bell, whatever he called. To me, one of the easiest opening the door kind of things is, how's your health? How's your health?
Worked on me.
I like
it's
that.
Like, but you know the person. Hey, Mary, how's your health? Hey, Bill, how's your health? And that's basically all you're doing. It's like, hey, would you like some coffee? Would you like some coffee? But you're like, how's your health? How's your health? How's your health? And it's just a conversation piece because they see that you're interested in their health.
Yeah.
If you really want this thing to excel for you, I'll give you some numbers to look at. They may sound overwhelming to you. They're not. They're just more people you got to talk to that can use your service and get your help. But what you really got to do is get people hooked up into our community. You really got to quit not hold them into your little puddle over here, like a mother duck. She gets all her little ducklings over here. You can't do that. You've got to take them and you've got to put them in the community and let the community do the work for you while you're bringing more in. Mm-hmm. And you just keep bringing them in the community. The community puts them in where they need to be and helps you get where they need to go. Who's your community? Deborah is your community. Lisa is your community. I'm your community. Dan Bell's, we're your community. And so what you do is you bring those people and you use us to train you and help them. And we'll be glad to do that.
Yeah. Makes it super easy.
That.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like it's doable.
It is.
Well, it is. It takes the monkey off the plate, but you've got to remember a few things. The more you say, the worse it gets. The more you smile, the more intrigued they get. The more happy you are, the more the enthusiasm is something that just is contagious. And if you got enthusiasm, by George, you'll follow people and they'll follow you wherever you're going because they want to go where all the fun's at. Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
I mean, there's no saying go. When you walk into a room, do you light it up when you come in or do you light it up when you leave? Be the light that lights it up when you come in.
Yeah.
And when you leave, everybody lets go leave because it's still dark in there. Mm-hmm. But so that's where we're at. That's the community you're working with. I know you got a lot more questions for us and a lot more things to think about, a lot more things to do. And we're just getting started. Congratulations on being a senior coach.
Thank you.
We need to get you to an executive director as fast as possible, but you got to acquire some more clients. Let us help you with that. You get them and put them in front of us. Let us do what we do, and they'll come. They'll come. Put them in the community. They'll come.
And then just get.
I like inviting people to be part of the community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's what this is, and that's really what they emphasized at Go Global. Now, I know in July we've got the national convention, and have you planned on making that trip?
No, I've thought about it. I was really excited when I heard that, or I read that we actually can earn,
Yeah, to go.
Yeah, our way there.
Yeah,
which would be wonderful. Any part of that I could, earn, I would like to. I mean, I think that would be great.
Yeah,
absolutely. So, but let me share something else with you. This is a business. This is a business that's owned by you. Me and Lisa own our business, but you own this business. Now, how hard will you work for your own business? Now, I'm a firm believer. If you can make a living for somebody else, if you can make them a living working for them and doing what you do to make them money, I believe that you can work for yourself and make more. I believe that.
I think so too.
It's been our whole life. So we encourage you and challenge you to sit down and put down your business practice, put down your business goals, and see where you want to be in the next 5 years. Do you still want to be where you are right now, or would you rather be $1,000 a year traveling? Now that's where you're at, and this is what you got. All you got to do is put your brand to this. Now watch this. What you do is you put your brand in what we're sharing with you and let this business finance your journey.
I like that.
It's that simple, really.
Joe, with your husband losing the 30 pounds, now how is he? I mean, I know he's excited about what's happened to him. Are you and him working together with the business, or are you just trying to sell it?
We are. He's obviously had a lot of people who have said to him, "What are you doing?" And trying to get. I mean, I need to talk to him and kind of give him one of the things that Debbie said to me when I first asked her the same thing, what are you doing? I need to know what you're doing. She said, well, let me really want to introduce you to my health coach. I really want her to be able to meet you and tell you more about, how this is working for me. That was wonderful. I need to get him out of the diet mindset.
Yeah.
Not, I'm eating, 5 meal replacements a day and a lean and green meal. I need to get him to the point where he will just share, I've got a health coach and it's part of a community. And that's why I think him meeting you may be a huge benefit.
Mm-hmm.
Because maybe we could discuss that together and
yes.
we may get more interest that way for clients.
Yes.
Write this down. National Health Coaching Community. National Health Coaching Community.
Okay.
Parentheses, highlight, study, memorize. That's what you're part of. Now, teach your husband to say those words. Write it down for him. Stick it on his mirror on the way to work. He has to learn that. And then write it on the palm of his hand. Put it when he opens his lunchbox up and puts that stuff out. There'll be a little letter there every day that says National Health Coaching Community. And use that word because that's what we are. And people will want to be part of that. They don't want to be on a diet. They don't want to be able to do it, but they'll be part of a community. You can just watch and see people want to be part of a sports group or they want to be part of a golf
group.
Oh,
absolutely.
And so,
I don't know anybody who doesn't want to be part of a healthy group of energetic, enthusiastic, happy people,
That's all right.
So use that.
Like me, I want to be there.
Yeah, and you use it too. So people say, Joe, what are you doing? So, well, I'm part of a national health coaching community. What's that about? So, well, I have a health coach, and it would be best if they explained it to you if you're interested. No, I'm not interested. I'm just being nosy. So, okay, that's no problem. And you move on. You don't tell them nothing about it because they don't want to know. Anything you can say after that point is just going to be used against you to hurt your other friends. So, bring people to the community. Tell your husband to bring people to the community, and they call you and say, Joe, I understand you. Your husband said that you're part of a health coaching community. Tell me more. Mm-hmm. And you say, well, hold on, Mary Jane. We're going to call my health coach because she knows all the answers to your questions, I'm sure. That's part of this community. Let's hook you up. And you bring all those people together, and we put them on our networks, and we put them in our community, and it's a beautiful thing. That's how you'll make your business grow if you want to grow.
Yeah.
Awesome. I can do that.
Yeah.
Simple.
And the thing is, like, your husband own it. Say we're part of this, national health coaching community, and say we would love to share it with you. And then don't really go into the how. So that's right. I tell everyone, I said, if you're getting a lot of people says about the money and things like that, it's because you're probably talking a little bit too much. You're probably spending too much time on the how. But if we're focusing on them and they say, and they want to know, oh my God, Joe, you look great. What are you doing? And say, well, honey, I'm just, I'm part of this, like we said, and said, so tell me about you. I mean, are you interested in health and well-being? And see, you're getting back on them, and then they go, well, yeah, I got to do something. I went to the doctor the other day and said, well, okay, well, tell me about that. How does that make you feel? And see, you're interested in them. People like you to be interested in them versus being interesting with all of our, like, we're gonna fix it. Like we talked about earlier, I'm gonna talk about this and fix all this.
I sometimes freeze right up because I don't want to say those things. I don't want to be fixing things for people.
Exactly. I've been there, honey.
We all have. I'm just sharing with you some really neat ways of
drawing people. Yeah.
Understand something else. People are really savvy these days. And so if they see you sitting over there at break and you've got this, if you got your MetaFast bar out there and the paper's all wrapped there and you're showing it to them, instead of them asking you about you, they're going to say, oh, she's eating Medifast. They go home and Google it. And then they go straight to Medifast. Medifast sends them some food. They get it there, and they don't know how to use it because somebody like us don't teach them. And then they eat it up, and about a week later, it didn't work for me. I couldn't stand the way it tasted. And then they're out there bad-mouthing your community of people that's working for them. So if you just go ahead and bring them to the community and let them see the camaraderie that goes on there, then if they get that warm, fuzzy feeling that this is what we said it's going to be, and they become part of it, then they will excel and they will become something that they want to be. If they don't want to come in, chances are, they don't need to be here anyway.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And if they really want to know, they'll show up and they'll be excited about being a part of. And it's fun meeting people. It's fun meeting those kindred spirits,
Some of them might show up 11 years later,
Well, and really, just like this guy, his whole thing was he thought it was all about Medifast. And see, Medifast, it's all about the food. This is not about the food. This is about Joe and who you are as a person, your brand. So that's what you're marketing is who you are and the asset that you bring into other people's lives. So just like this thing I sent you, the education, the skill sets, the actions, the concepts you're learning to ditch, most people are not doing those things. As you progress and you do those things for yourself, people start paying attention to that, and then they start coming to you. They go, I want what you have, Joe. I've seen a shift in you. You're more balanced. I want that. And so that's what you bring. And that's like this couple yesterday with Danny. That's why they said, hey, I trust you and I'm all in. But they didn't even really know about the coaching side. All they knew about was Medifast food, and it worked. So, but see, we want to bring them into this community, and we want to show them that together we all can stay healthier long term. We all can grow mentally healthy long term, and we have to have that. We have to have that, and we have to have each other.
There's so much more to it than the food, so that's the part that I want to focus on.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for giving me your time this evening. I really appreciate this. I found the Zoom on Tuesday night with the coaches and the role playing that you did with Queenie, with Debbie Queen. I found that so beneficial. I thought I need more of that. I need to hear more of those kinds of conversations going on between you and other people, so that I can pick up on that, layering of questions to get the information that I need to be able to give them what they need.
Mm-hmm. Well,